Okay, good evening everybody and welcome to this media conference to preview tomorrow's UEFA Nations League fixture against Italy in Milan. First, I'd just like to offer our apologies for the late start, a few logistical issues and air travel issues. Before we get underway, just housekeeping, we've got Diego here, the translator, who will look to translate question and answer together. So if you can just pause after each answer to allow that to happen. And without further ado, we'll start with Rob Dorset.
Hi Gareth, hi Harry, good to see you. Gareth, can I start by asking you about the team news? Can you update us please? Everybody trained this morning, but I know Henderson, Rice and Bellingham missed a training session earlier on. Are they all good to go? How's Jordan Henderson?
Oh dear. No, Jordan is, he won't be involved tomorrow. The plan was always with him that he would train with us for the first part of the camp and then he should be available for the second game. So, but he's progressing well and trained well today. And everybody else trained and is available, yeah.
Buonasera a tutti, una domanda riguardo all'allenamento di stamattina, volevo sapere come sta Jordan e come sta il resto della squadra. La risposta è la seguente: Jordan sta bene, si è allenato con noi e probabilmente sarà disponibile, comunque tutto il resto della squadra è in ottimo.
Why are these two games so important for you? It strikes me that on a number of fronts they're really important.
Well, great tests for us, great games to be involved with first of all. We play two of the strongest football nations historically in two of the most iconic stadiums you can play in. So, great test for us. We're wanting to, of course, improve our performances from the summer and to leave the camp feeling good about ourselves going into the World Cup. And yeah, to come here and play Italy in Milan is a great opportunity to do that.
Gareth, the FA has taken a stance this week with its statement on Qatar and human rights, and it's called on FIFA to compensate migrant workers. And there's the OneLove campaign, which we'll ask Harry about in a moment, with the rainbow armband. Is there a difficulty here between idealism and realism a little bit, and how much you can actually affect yourselves, or how much any national team can affect on an issue like this?
I think that is the case. You know, I've done a lot of research. I've spoken with a lot of people, from human rights lawyers to the migrant workers group that I met out in Qatar. The FA have done a lot of due diligence with the NGOs, so there were certain requests that were made in terms of areas we might raise, talk about, support, and I think what the FA have tried to do yesterday is to put those on the table. Then, separate to that, is the armband. That's an agreement between several European nations where we felt there was a collective stance that again would lead to people having these discussions and talking about these issues. And the people I've spoken to have sort of explained to me, human rights lawyers in particular, that there's not a lot more the players in particular can do than talk about those issues and put them on the table, because in the end we're not, we're asking for change in a country that we're respectful of, that has made a lot of progress, but also we don't have any control over.
Harry, if I could turn to you. Look, I appreciate this is not an easy question, and I know it's been a very difficult subject for you to discuss, but you've spoken to other European captains, you've come up with the OneLove campaign and the armband. You've been the leader of this England group that's fought discrimination every time you've come across it. You know, you came very close to walking off the pitch when you faced racism in the past. Did you want to go further? Did you want to have more than just a show of a symbol on your arm? And was it difficult to do that, and were you frustrated by it? Give us an idea of how the discussions went with some of the other captains.
Yeah, look, I think I had a discussion with Christian. Obviously, he's not the captain of Denmark, but me and Christian have spoke, and then obviously Hugo at Spurs, and it was about coming together, and I think being together sends a bigger message rather than just people doing individual stuff. I think, like you touched on a bit there, there's only, I think, so much the players can actually do. I think by wearing the armband on the biggest stage in the world, one of the most televised events in the world, will have an impact. But yeah, look, we can only do what we can, and I think we've definitely taken a step forward to help some of the issues out there in Qatar.
And Harry, last one from me about football. That's a difficult topic as well for you a little bit at the moment, I wonder, because it feels like this has been a rare blip for England, 4 games without a win and that defeat against Hungary last time out. Do you sense that this game against Italy is an opportunity to put that right, but do you sense you really need a performance and a result as well?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a determination amongst myself, the players, everyone involved, in the manager, the staff, to bounce back, and we've had a successful 4 or 5 years or so, and there's going to be times when you come up against a bit of a bad spell, and we know that we don't perform well enough in the summer, but there's always another opportunities. Another game tomorrow night against a very good side, and ultimately we're preparing for a World Cup in a couple months' time. So all we can do is look forward, and I think we've had a great week of preparation. The boys look really hungry in training. Firstly, to obviously bounce back and try and get a win tomorrow, and also players who are trying to put their name forward to get into that World Cup squad. So yeah, we're expecting a tough game, but we're also feel like we're really determined to try and get back to winning ways.
Gareth, just picking up on what Harry said, that how concerned are you at the moment with England's form right now, especially with just the 2 games to go?
Yeah, I'm not really sure it's about form because when you're in an international environment, there's so many weeks, months between games that you're starting from scratch every time, really. And there were so many circumstances in the summer with, firstly, high-quality games, high-quality opponents, but also the need to look after some of our big players. I think every nation did that, talking to the managers of Denmark and Belgium and France over the summer. They all found that challenging because they're all thinking about the World Cup as well. So also players that we wanted to see more of, because there's no friendlies after this, which you'd normally have for a tournament. 2 games behind closed doors, so any number of reasons, but also we reflected and dissected everything as a group of staff. And when you've been through spells as a manager, which I have, that helps you because you've got real clarity on what needs to happen and how to come through those periods. And also, I think if we were coming out of those matches wondering why things hadn't gone quite so well, then that would be more of a concern. But we knew exactly the reasons, and it's a challenge for us as a group of staff, and then ultimately for us to put that challenge to the players to respond. And we know the level of performance needs to be incredibly high to achieve what we want to achieve in the World Cup. Sorry, I'll try and keep my answers shorter.
That's quite a skill.
I'll try and keep it shorter, sorry.
Harry, a defeat tomorrow would see England relegated, and that has a knock-on effect for Euros qualifying. So Gareth said, you know what needs to change. So what is it? What needs to change apart from obviously winning? Is it an attitude, application? What is it, do you think?
Yeah, look, we're playing against some of the best teams in Europe, so it's never an easy game. You can never take your foot off the gas, and tomorrow will be no different. So I guess we can talk as much as we want now amongst ourselves here in the press conference, but the bottom line is going out there and performing on a big stage, a difficult game away from home where we haven't won in a long time. So like I touched on earlier, I think these games are great preparation for the World Cup. We need to use it to try and show that we can play against some top nations in the way that we want to, and be ruthless in both ends of the box in terms of keeping clean sheets and also scoring goals. And it'll be a great test tomorrow to try and do that.
Gareth, there have been questions over the form of Harry Maguire. He's obviously been a constant for you. Have you felt the need this week to put your arm around him, to tell him why he's important to you? What have you said to him?
No, I try to speak with all of the players individually. That's been a bit more difficult this week because we've only had 2 days and we've got 28 players, so I'm getting through that. But I haven't felt the need to focus any more on Harry than any of the other players.
In merito a Maguire, coach, ha parlato con lui perché è importante per lei Maguire? Sì, io ho parlato con tutti, è stato un po' più difficile trovare un momento per confrontarmi con tutti i giocatori perché sono 28 questa volta, però diciamo che ultimamente non mi preoccupa più confrontarmi e parlare a livello individuale.
And to both of you, obviously you've talked about the armband and you've pledged to wear it, but what would your message be to those who say it's not enough? And how do you ensure that it isn't just a meaningless gesture?
I think that we've done a lot of research. The FA have held countless meetings with the NGOs, with the migrant workers in Qatar. So they've gathered all of the information and all of the requests of the areas that people wanted affected. And what was clear that there is a limit to what can be achieved, but talking about the issues and raising the issues and putting them on the table is the vehicle that, as people involved in sport, we've used in the past, and is what we're trying to do this time. So, yeah, look, there will always be criticism whatever you do, and we understand and we have to accept that. But we're trying to affect the areas we've been asked to affect, and I don't think there's a lot more that at this moment in time, unless other ideas come forward and other requests that we think are suitable are on the table, then it's difficult to do more than we've been asked.
Harry as well.
Yeah, not much to add, to be honest. I think, like I touched on earlier, there's only, I think, so much as players we can do, and I think with the FA and with the other nations, we're doing what we can. Like the gaffer said there, I don't think you're going to please everyone no matter what we've done, but we are trying, and we are trying to make a difference in any way that we can.
La domanda è la seguente: qual è il messaggio rivolto a quelle persone che credono che non si stia facendo abbastanza in merito alla situazione relativa ai diritti umani in Qatar? Noi abbiamo fatto delle ricerche molto approfondite sia con le ONG che con la FA, abbiamo raccolto informazioni su quali sono le problematiche più gravi per quanto riguarda i lavoratori e tutte le persone colpite dalla mancanza dei diritti umani. Naturalmente ci sono dei limiti a quello che si può raggiungere, a quello che si può ottenere, non riusciremo senz'altro a fare tutto quello che vogliamo, ma parlare è un veicolo importante, è un mezzo che abbiamo a disposizione nello sport e pertanto dobbiamo sfruttarlo. Questo è quello che possiamo fare. Le critiche poi arrivano, le critiche arrivano sempre, non importa quello che si fa, a noi sta accettarle e proseguire facendo il nostro lavoro. È difficile, però penso cercare di fare più di quello che già stiamo facendo. Risposta di Harry Kane. Effettivamente, come ha detto il mister, vedo molto complicato riuscire a andare oltre quello che stiamo facendo. Il lavoro con le ONG e con la FA è un lavoro su cui ci stiamo concentrando, e questo è quello che possiamo fare.
Okay, we'll take two more.
Yeah. Thank you, Palmieri Sport Italia. To Gareth, how much Italy should fear your rage and sense of revenge for the final loss, but also because the last game was the 4-0 against Hungary?
Yeah, look, the final is history. We've already played since then, so we know we're playing against a team that have some outstanding players, and will be very difficult opposition for us. We want to respond to the way we played in the summer, and we want to improve every day. We work on the training ground to give ourselves the best chance of being successful at the World Cup.
Domanda per il mister: quanto l'Italia dovrebbe avere paura del sentimento di vendetta dopo la finale persa all'Europeo?
also wanted to ask you, there are only 11 out of the 23, 25 squad that was at the Euro because of all the injuries in Italy. Did you actually knew all the players? Because there's someone coming from second division, for example. Were you surprised to see the call-up? Because could be one of the weakest, maybe, Italy squad that we ever lined up.
Not sure about that, but well, we're watching all of the Serie A games because I was here 2 weeks ago for the derby, the Milan derby, and then up to Udinese. So we know the players because we're watching Serie A all the time. I don't know the players in the second division so well, but of course in the summer, I know Roberto looked at a lot of players through the different camps and tried a lot of different things, and he's obviously building now towards the European Championship in 2 years' time as well, so I can understand the plan and the process.
Ci sono solamente 11 dei 25 giocatori che hanno giocato l'Europeo per motivi diversi, come per esempio infortuni, eccetera. Lei li conosce tutti, magari quelli che provengono dalla Serie B non li conosce bene. Lo chiedo perché quest'Italia potrebbe essere un'Italia un po' più debole rispetto all'ultima gara che avete affrontato. Ma in realtà non ne sono sicuro, questa è la risposta, non ne sono sicuro affatto. Noi seguiamo la Serie A molto da vicino, tra parentesi 2 settimane fa sono stato a vedere il derby e ho anche visto l'Italia Udinese. Conosciamo bene tutti i giocatori della Serie A, quelli della Serie B forse un po' meno, ma a ogni modo in estate noi ci dedichiamo a osservare da vicino i giocatori delle altre nazionali, cerchiamo di notare le cose che fanno in campo, come si comportano e poi naturalmente per noi è molto importante seguire tutto questo processo.
Wanted to ask to Harry, a few days ago, the process for seeding at the Euro 2024 draw has been released. So not being the last one of the bottom of the group, it's maybe even more important than to qualify to the finals of Nations League. Obviously, you will play until the end, but even more important. Has it actually been a factor you've been talking about, you and the other guys, saying, okay, maybe we won't make it the finals, but it is so much important to get at least at the third place?
Yeah, we haven't actually spoke about the relegation side of it, but we have spoke about making sure that we try and win the next 2 games because for many reasons I think it can have a good impact on us if we do. So yeah, the relegation itself is not something we have spoke about, but that doesn't take away from the fact that we're really determined to win tomorrow night and try and take that into Monday's game against Germany.
The final one from Chat Bitbrook.
Hi, Gareth. You referred to a period of reflection and analysis after the games in June. What specifically did you learn in that? And on an emotional level, did you feel hurt by the stick that you obviously got at Molineux in the last game?
Well, the individual part is not important. We analysed everything, every department. I think when you're winning, we were on a run going into that summer of 22 matches without losing, and you don't analyse the victories quite as acutely as you analyse the defeats, and that's probably not the right approach in actual fact. But I felt I compromised certain decisions internally. And you don't win if you compromise. So it was good for me to sharpen that focus again, because what we're going into, we've got to be completely ruthless, and I've got to create the environment for the players that allows them to excel, and to provide them with the best platform to be at the level they've been for the last 5 or 6 years. No, because they're internal things that we're working on as a team, so there's no need for that to be public.
Un'ultima domanda per l'allenatore. Dunque, ha parlato prima mister di riflessioni, di analisi. Che cosa ha imparato da questa riflessione e analisi che ha fatto? Anche a livello emotivo, è stato ferito dagli ultimi risultati delle ultime partite? Risposta. Senz'altro l'assente individuale è molto importante. Parlerei piuttosto però di quello che abbiamo fatto con lo staff. Abbiamo analizzato tutto e abbiamo cercato di capire perché ci sono state queste partite così negative dopo 22 partite sconfitte. Allora, il fatto è che spesso e volentieri non si analizzano le partite vinte, ma si analizzano solamente le partite perse. Questo credo che sia sbagliato. Io penso ci sia bisogno di un impegno da parte di tutti, perché senza impegno non si va da nessuna parte. È per questo che stiamo cercando di concentrarci e stiamo cercando di fornire alla squadra il perfetto ambiente in cui allenarsi, in cui sentirsi, le migliori piattaforme per consentire loro di attestarsi sugli stessi livelli degli ultimi 5 o 6 anni. In merito all'ultima domanda che è stata fatta, che purtroppo non è stata udibile, non posso parlare, non posso diffondere questi dati interni perché appunto al momento non possono essere venuti.
Okay, thank you everybody, and apologies again for the delayed start.
Thank you.
Thank you.